Following the end of the Second World War, Canada made major investments in its people. It was an amazing time. For 2 decades, they invested in social, health, and educational services that elevated the average person and gave them more opportunity than they had ever had before. And then the 1970s came, and with that, a real time of economic turbulence, and also poverty began to rise. Poverty rose again in the 1980s as a recession was here, and it was also the decade in which food banks got their first start in 1981. And then came the 90s, the dot-com time, the boom, when things really began to get better and the economy improved and poverty began to lower, showing that same old link between the economy and poverty. It was an amazing time. But what happened in the millennium? As the new millennium took place, all of a sudden, wealth went way up and poverty did at the same time, breaking that consequent link that used to be between the two. And since that time, that's what we have had. We have had nothing but constant increase in economies, give or take a bad year, but poverty has consistently risen. The highest and most wealthiest year that Canada had ever had was in 2019, $2 trillion economy in that year. But in that year, 26% of that economy was owned by the wealthiest 1%. The bottom 50%, the people we're talking about who really need assistance, got 1% of all of that. Look, it took decades to get to this point, and it'll probably take decades to reverse it. But now is the time to start it. Canada's too great a country to go down this road. It's time we started investing in our people once more.